over. Yes, hello, good evening. I'm just going to turn off my music so that that's not playing in the background. I used to have music playing in the background and now I don't anymore, except for like the loop tracks that I have licensed to use. For two reasons. Either Facebook would mute me because even though it said like royalty free music, it wasn't actually royalty free in Facebook's eyes, or I'd have the music so loud that you couldn't hear me. So I've turned the music off. Hello to everybody. We're gonna do the geometric tumbler. Now, back in my day, before the tanagram and like the patterns that Anna's doing at the moment for her tribute to, I forgot her name. It's Christy, isn't it? No, Emily. A tribute to Emily. Oh, don't tell her I did that. When she's doing the love hearts at the moment, and the chevron is the word I'm looking for. Right before all of those geometric patterns came along, we had a really, really simple method that we just called the geometric cut. Okay, it is a little bit more advanced than beginner's stage, but it's not quite as advanced as the tanagram stage, which is why I included it in the intermediate series. And I haven't done one of these cups for quite a while, so I'm quite excited to do this one tonight. Hello to everybody jumping on. Hello Anna, hello Lindy, Liv's here. Emily, yes, I know, I got there in the end. Okay, so we'll start at the very beginning. Okay, I have jumped ahead just a little bit so I could do the whole pattern in the live tonight, and I'm also doing it on a 12-ounce standard just because they're a little bit smaller, and then you wouldn't have to sit here in like a 90-minute setting watching me glitter little triangles. Okay, so I have already done that. Now, as you can see, I've already put, this is the pink in the pastel series from Pixie Dust Pigments. I know that light's really bad tonight, I'm sorry guys. But I've put, if you can see, it's like a pearly shimmer, right? So I went and did what we would normally do. I sanded my cup, I washed it, I let it dry. I then spray painted it white, and from there I have mixed my pigment into my epoxy and put a nice thick coat of epoxy on there. Now, I didn't have too much trouble around the top, but down the bottom here, hang on, I'm just going to turn that off. Okay, see how it's pink but it's not as pink around the bottom? If you're going to do any work with mica powders, you're always going to have it pull away from the edges, which is what's happened here. Now, at the end when I've glittered everything, any of the lines that cover over where I've got bald spots, I'm just going to go in with my tacket and put the pigment straight over the top of any parts that I've missed, just to build the colour up on the lines so that all the lines are this colour. Now, this is your base colour, you don't have to use mica powders. More often than not, I will spray paint my cup black or white or gold or silver or whatever I want my line color to be, and keep it as a matte, and then that's what shows up as the lines between the glittered shapes, right? On sometimes when the occasion calls for it, I do inks, like I've done tie-dye ink swirls before. I'm doing mica powders tonight. I've done a really beautiful deep purple before as well. Can you not hear me? I'll move my microphone closer. Is that better? It may just be you, but on my screen, like I'm hitting right at the max where I've got my microphone to cut off. So as far as I know, my sound is working, but can somebody else also confirm? Oh, that's interesting. Hang on 1 second. I need like a please stand by technical difficulty screen, don't I? How's that? Is that better? Hi Angela. Can anybody confirm? Like, I can't really move that. Like, it's right here. Right here. So I can't, whoa, I can't really move it any closer than I already have. Okay, cool. It's just an issue that we might have to work with, but if you do miss anything, just ask in the comments and I will get somebody to type a reply to you. We are doing a geometric cup, Janine. We're just going over the base color. I'm using this really pretty pink mica powder as my base color tonight. So think peekaboo, right? Everything that we cover with the washi tape, I use washi tape. At the end, we peel all the washi tape off, and this is what you'll see from underneath. So think of it as like a peekaboo. Okay. I'm going to turn my light back on so I can show you my glitters. Maybe turn that down just a bit so we don't get so much reflection. Okay, so with the pink as my base, I then have, we're going Rosey Gold from DJ Designs. And a pink rose gold. And a rose gold. Now I don't have a record. Whoa, there you go. I don't have a record of where these ones came from, these two. I think, like I'm 99.9% sure they're one of Linda B's glitters. Now she doesn't have a website or anything like that. She usually does buy-ins for glitter. She doesn't actually sell glitter like Danny or Holly from Glitter Your World or people like that do. She runs regular buy-ins and she puts up photos of everything that's available, and you can order in, I think they're 50 or 100 gram bags. Excuse me. I do have her group, which I'm about to post in the comments here. She doesn't have a Facebook page or anything, but that is her group. You may also see her floating around sometimes where I found her, which was the Australian Craft Buy-ins and D-Stash group. Okay, but that is, if you hear me talking about Linda B, that's Linda B. Okay, and I'm 99% sure that these two are hers. So it's pink rose gold and just normal rose gold. Metallics. She has metallics, iridescence. Another one that I can't think of, but they're all in the group anyway. And then this is Danny's rose gold. Okay, so the first thing you will need is some washi tape. Now I picked this one up, it's all silvers, from Spotlight when it was on clearance. I think I paid like $3 for it. But I like using washi tape, especially if you haven't epoxied over your base and it's just spray paint. Washi tape never, in my experience, touch wood. I don't have any wood to touch. That's MDF, that'll work, won't it? I've never had it peel off spray paint, which is why I use it. Okay, so I'm going to move you up just a little bit. Okay. So I want to go, and this is a 12-ounce standard just because it's a little bit smaller, and then you guys don't have to waste your entire Tuesday night watching me glitter. I did want to do it in one part. It would be different if I was doing like what Anna does, where she just works on stuff. But I was trying to get this all done for you. I'm going to go from one side the whole way around and up the other side, just to make my first, I don't want to say cuts, but that's pretty much what they are. My first slice through the cup with washi tape. Okay. And then I like to go the other way as well, if I can get it to sit. I'm not going to make this one straight because I want it to have a bit of personality. Okay, so the first one that I put down, this one here, actually, I'm just going to turn that off. There we go. It's too, see, that's what I was trying to avoid, the glare off the ceiling. Hang on, I'm going to have a play. That's not so bad. Okay, so this one here goes straight right around, right? And then this one here kind of comes in on an angle straight across the bottom and then up on an angle again. Now I've done this because I think I want my design to sit here. Okay, now I'm going to put one of those you know, the two squares that are slightly off center to each other, and then you have the words in the middle, like the what is it, eat, sleep, slay, them ones, right? That's not what it's going to say, but I want those offsetted squares. So I'm going to go from here to here. And then again from here to here. Right, now that section is going to be where I put my decal. I'm not going to splice that up any more than I already have. Okay, now I'll decide on the end if I have an uneven number of the other colors, I may put glitter over this. Otherwise I'm going to leave it as is because I know what vinyl I'm going to use on it, and I will show you that when we get to that. But yeah, it's one of my tech wrap ones and I'm really excited to use it. But there's that. Okay, and then the rest of the cup, you're basically just splitting it however you like. You can do squares, you can do rectangles, you can do hexagons if you're real keen. I prefer to keep most of my shapes either like oblong shapes or triangles. So I'm going to split this top bit, that light in, this top bit into two sections here. Okay. Is that making sense to anybody? Like, this is where it all started, right? And it wasn't my idea. Let's just make that very clear now. I did not come up with this style of cup. I was just already in the craft when this style of cup was invented. Do we use the word invented? Yeah, let's use the word invented. Designed, thought up. Okay, so I'm going all triangles here. The only real, like, not triangular shape will be where I'm putting my vinyl. But I want to go across here. Just so that I've got a little triangle on the bottom. See? And the washi tape I'm not overlapping. It's not very thick, but it's thick enough to give the effect of lines. And I'm just going from, like, can you see the joins? From one side of the washi tape to the other side of the washi tape, because no matter what direction you put the tape, you're going to get nice corners. Whether that be a 45-degree angle or not, that's completely up to you. This one, I think I want to go from the top corner almost to there. Yeah, Yvonne, sorry, it's washi tape. Excuse me. I got, sorry, concentrating, this pack. like a fair while ago now, but I did get it from Spotlight. Spotlight, I will be honest, I try to avoid Spotlight when it comes to stuff like washi tape and stuff, because they have pack sizes like this for like 25 bucks. And because I don't use washi tape for anything. Like, I don't do planners or stickers or anything like that. I use them just for when I need them for tumblers. And 9 times out of 10, it's for stuff like this where I'm going to peel it off and put it in the bin anyway. So spending like 25 bucks on some tape that I'm going to pull off anyway. Painter's tape's different, but even painter's tape, like the big rolls of painter's tape, doesn't cost me that much. The only reason that I got this one from Spotlight is because it was reduced to like $3 or something, and I thought, bugger it. But yeah, if you don't have washi tape already, I would recommend looking at places like eBay or Amazon, because you're going to get it so much cheaper than Spotlight. But this one is from Spotlight. Look, Spotlight has its place. The amount of times that I've been in a pinch and I've ducked down to Spotlight because they've had it on hand, and yeah, you do pay a little bit more because it's not a wholesaler. It is a retail store, and they are a big chain, so they're going to be able to charge a little bit more. But it still has its place in the world. I don't buy a lot from them anymore, I'll be honest, but they still have their place. Could you use electrical tape? Yvonne, you definitely could. I would recommend not doing it over just spray paint though. If you were going to use electrical tape, I'd epoxy over your base colour and then put the painter's tape over that. Hi Leanne! We're making our geometric cup. We're just slowly going through and splitting it all up. I've only got these 2 sections to go, and then we can start glittering. But I tend to lose focus, and then I stop taping up because I'm talking to the screen and reading comments. I didn't want to waste too much time tonight. If it was a Friday or Saturday, it might be a little bit different because we're all sitting around drinking anyway. I am drinking, but I'm drinking my tea. I have tea. Anybody else love tea? I love tea. I spent the first 20 odd years of my life avoiding tea. And I'll still choose coffee every time. But after, like, say 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm a tea girl. No, you don't want to see my face tonight. I am working on it though. Getting a new face cam. I just have to have the money, and it's the end of term. So all of my kids' sports fees are now due for the term. And usually it's alright because the Creative Kids vouchers and stuff, they're an absolute godsend. Especially if you have multiple children in multiple sports. But I spent a lot of this term paying off a bill from last year because there was a problem with the direct debit system, and neither I or them picked up on it until like January. So I've been playing catch-ups with that bill, and now I'm a little bit behind. And car registration, because Lord knows I love a good car registration right after Easter. Actually used to, my old car was due on the 27th of December, and that was a pain in the ass. That was horrible. And even doing it at like 6-month intervals, it'd still be due. Like, there was just no way of getting around that. That sucked. I'm so glad I don't have that car anymore. I'm just going to take off. Don't like going over like the curves of the cup, like I've just done. But I'm not going to have any real way around that this time. As long as it stays. it. Okay. I'm just going to cut it this way then. Okay. So there is, right, so wherever the washi tape is, obviously, is where it's going to stay pink. Still not sure about this bit yet. We won't know till the end. But I did, usually I glitter over it, and then I put the, like I offset the vinyl, and put it on there so it still stands out against the glitter. But the last time I did one of these cups, I did a spray painted black base and then I used yellow, green, orange and pink fluoro glitter. It was like a pearlescent glitter and it looked so nice with just like the black square where I had my vinyl, because I used an opal vinyl and then the rest of it fluoro. It was really cool. So I'm still in two minds. Hi Siobhan! You haven't missed much. You've heard mainly just me blabbering on a bit tonight. We're doing a geometric cup, which was like the original for the tanagrams and the chevrons and all the geometric patterns that you're seeing pop up now. This was the first geometric tumbler. I did my base. I prepped it as you would normally, spray painted it matte white, used Pixie Dust's Pastel Pink, wrong way Laura, this way, and mixed it into the epoxy to get my base. And then we've just put washi tape all over the cupping patterns. Okay, and now you're all caught up. Now for designs like this where you've got edges and corners and right, I like to use, I'm doing real well with my camera angles tonight, aren't I? See how that's tapered? Right, these brushes are from the big packs that you get from Spotlight. Oh, see, Spotlight still has its place. They do like big packs, and it has like sponges and different size white brushes and different size yellow brushes, right? Those big, I think they're like $16 or something, but they're so worth it. Yeah, that's one of them, because then you can kind of use that tapered edge to get in where you need to. Okay. And the color that we're putting over the top are these three. I will have everything listed in the description when this goes up on YouTube. You'll see all of the glittering and the peeling away to get the geometric design tonight. And then if you want to catch the rest, it's not really anything that you guys personally haven't seen before, but I'm trying to do the whole tutorial for my channel. You'll see where I put the vinyl on and do a final coat of epoxy. Okay. But yeah, I will put all of the glitters and the products and everything that I use in the description on that channel. Otherwise, if you need to know before then, ask in the comments. Just tag me if I'm not live anymore. Just tag me so I get the notification. Or send me a PM. As most of you know by now, I'm shy, but I'm not shy. Like, if you message me, I'll reply. Okay, let's start with this really pretty rose gold from DJ Designs, and it is called Rosey Gold. Anywhere's a good place to start when it's your first colour, isn't it? So this is just dishwasher safe Mod Podge. Oh no, it's not. Oh no, yes it is. I was going to say, I think I refilled it with the gloss. No, I didn't. This one is the dishwasher safe. But the gloss one does work. I use that too. I have 2 containers. I just happen to, yeah, it is dishwasher safe. But I'm not putting it too thick. Like, this is the square that we've just done. I'm not putting it on there too thick, but not so little that it dries too quickly on me either. Just because I don't want big clumpy bits of glitter. I want it to all look nice and even. actually looks a lot more pink on camera than it actually is. Hang on. That's better. See? Rosy Gold isn't as pink. Okay, but then it isn't as gold. I thought it was the perfect halfway point. You can hear me talking with the paintbrush in my mouth. There we go. Manners, Laura. Yeah, I thought it was the perfect halfway point between the other two colours that I'd already picked. Let's put one here. Does anybody have any questions so far? I mean, it's a little bit finicky, but it's pretty straightforward. And then obviously once I'm not going to need, because I'm using pink glitters on a pink toned base, I'm not going to need to do 2 coats. But if you do need to do 2 coats, obviously make sure, I just almost dipped my brush in my glitter, did you see that? I'm going to move that here so I don't make that mistake again. What were we talking about? I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh, no I didn't. I got it now. Choo-choo. Make sure you dry brush really, really well between colours. Then once it's all done, you'd spray seal before you epoxied. Just to make sure that none of your glitter moved around into other colors, especially if you're using like really like starkly contrasting colors, like if you'd say did blue and yellow or fluoro orange and fluoro green, or right, you don't want them playing, you want them to stay separate. Natalie, we are doing a geometric cup, which is like the foundations of where all of the Tanagram cups and stuff came from, or your chevron cups. This was the original idea that then spouted a whole bunch of other patterns. So it's not as advanced as going straight for a Tanagram, but it's a nice little warm-up to doing patterns. What's the difference between what? Sorry, Angela. Oh, between the Mod Podges, absolutely nothing if you're using epoxy. If you're doing, and this is how I started before I started working with epoxy, and doing tumblers and stuff, I used to hand glitter wine glasses. I'm just gonna quickly fix my little corner there. And I used dishwasher safe Mod Podge because you cannot use the gloss on wine glasses. Now the catch to dishwasher safe, which not many people bother to read the instructions on, they just figure because it says dishwasher safe it is. In my experience, every time, and it does have a 28-day cure time, okay, not 26 or 27 days, exactly 28 days from when your last coat goes on to when you can use it and get it wet. Okay, so that's the first disadvantage, because you, like, if you make a whole bunch of cups at the beginning of the month, you have to wait till the end of the month to be able to hand them out. So obviously in that respect, Crystalac and epoxy is a lot quicker. The second disadvantage is I put a couple of mine through the dishwasher when I first started. I had waited 30 full days, and that didn't peel off or anything, but it went like a really weird milky color, and then when it dried out completely, it went back to normal. So yes, it does work, but I think it looks really, really ugly and really unprofessional, especially if you think you're giving it to customers. If you're marketing it as dishwasher safe and they put through their dishwasher and they pull it out and it's got that effect on it, yes, it will go back to normal, but it looks pretty gross. So I just stuck to hand washing after that and told all of my customers the same. So yes, it's dishwasher safe, but I wouldn't go pushing your luck, is all I'm saying. Okay, 1, 2, 3. that one needs to be. Yep. I should have this on an arm, shouldn't I? Just before I run out of spots to put my feather. Ah, see, sometimes I have foresight, guys. Sometimes. You're witnessing a rare moment in history here. There we go. Whoop! Drop my paintbrush and I'll come back. I love you. Should be right. Okay. And that is a... which one's this? This is the 20-ounce skinny attachment from Chelsea Blue Designs. They don't just fit 20-ounce skinnies. Let's do this big one here. It's better with the light on or the light off. I feel like you can, like, the colours come up a lot better and you can see a lot clearer until I try and get near the camera, and then it's just a hot mess. Which is why I kept it off. Oh, yes, no, it's washi tape, Natalie. So think like a peekaboo style with the tape. Once everything's glittered, all the tape gets peeled off. And then you see this really beautiful pink mica from underneath. Just want to fix up my edge here. Pretty. We really need that background music, don't we? I have a friend. I have a friend, guys. One friend. I have a friend. I have a friend who's she's got a teenage son that's a bit of a musical whiz. So I might ask him if he wants to make me some, like, you know how they have those music maker programs where you don't actually have to play the instrument. You can, like, play the tune on a keyboard or something, put it into the program, and then you can pick your instrument and it synthesizes it. He can do that. Maybe I should I'll pay him. It can be like a school holiday job, and I'll pay him to make me a Panda live soundtrack that I can play in the background, because then I know they can't mute it, because I mean, I'll own the rights to it. It's my music. That's an idea. You guys are so smart. Hi Emma, hi Valerie, hi Rebecca. Guys, you really haven't missed much. This is, I wouldn't call it a beginner's technique because it is a little bit fiddly and you have to go from like colour to colour. But it's definitely not as involved as like the tanagrams and the chevrons. This is where it all began before it started to evolve into more technical patterns like that. But basically all we've done, I prepped my cup as I normally would. spray painted it white and then put this beautiful pink mica powder over the top of it, like mixed it into epoxy to get the base. And then we've just gone over the base with washi tape in different directions, and that'll be, once we peel the tape off, this will be what shows up underneath the lines. But you can do like, just, I've done it with normal spray paint, I've done it with inks, I've done it with mica powders. I have not yet used pigment paste, but that might be a cool idea. And I've done it with wood grain as well, like I've done a wood grain design and then squared it off. This glitter is Rosey Gold. You don't need to see the shaker, it's all here. Rosey Gold from DJ Designs. From memory, it actually came in her first, like her debut creative box, which was that October or November last year? Danny, is Danny around? Do this top square here. Triangle. You'd think by 32 years I'd know my shapes. And 3 kids that have like been through school. Not through school. God, I'm not that old yet. Touch wood. No, but my baby is starting high school next year. He's in year 6 this year. So, you know, that's a moral dilemma that I had when I realised I had to order his year 6 polo shirts last year. The notice came through on my phone and I was like, oh no, that doesn't apply. Holy crap, that applies to me. Okay. This section here, guys, is where I'm going to put my vinyl. Now, if I glitter over it, I can always offset the design that I want to put on there. But do you reckon we leave it this beautiful pink colour, bearing in mind that that will bring the square out just that little bit wider because it'll be the same colour as where the washi tape is? Or do we glitter it? Because if we glitter it, it's going to have to be this one. Oh no, I just painted my computer. That's okay. Mod splodged my laptop. I'll let you guys vote on that anyway. What colour vinyl? I was going to use the opal that I got in my tech wrap bundle, but if I use this gold, I have what I got in the floral box from Love Your Vinyl, which is this colour but a high flash foil. And I've just been sitting here thinking to myself, instead of using the glittery mica powder and putting a glitter vinyl over the top, maybe I should make it a gold glittered square and put my rose gold foil over the top. But it's going to be like, you know, the 2 squares that don't line up, they're just off center to each other. That's the border of what I'm putting on the cup. Might do one more. Where do I want to do that one more? Here. I want to do it here. I think I'm done. Alrighty, we'll glitter it then. We'll do the gold. I'll pack all of this away. how's everybody's week's been? Did anybody else get affected? Sorry, I got a paintbrush in my mouth. Did anybody else get affected by... I shouldn't say anybody else because I wasn't seriously affected by them. But was anybody seriously affected? Or even just a little bit affected by the floods that we had recently? Those that don't know, I am in Port Macquarie. And so is Liv now, but Liv wasn't around for the flood. She was up on the was it the Gold Coast or Brisbane? Doing training for a new job. So luckily, she wasn't here when you needed a boat to get up to Coles. Literally, Coles was underwater. Oh, their building was, and they've got an underground car park. And Office Works was gone. I actually have a friend that I know through my children's cheerleading club. Her family are 6th generation oyster farmers, and they've just lost everything, so that's pretty devastating. Hi Crystal. Crystal's in Warhope, which is like the next township across from me, and Warhope flooded quite badly too, but she's high enough up where she didn't get hit too badly. Siobhan, yeah, we had no school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday last week, and then by God's grace alone, they opened up on Thursday because, my God, I kept them home on Friday because I just, like, my spidey senses were tingling, and then it ended up hitting Friday afternoon. All the buses couldn't get back through. It was just absolute chaos. So they had Friday, then Saturday, Sunday off, and then Monday, Tuesday, and by Wednesday, I was ready to kill them if they weren't going to kill each other. We just had enough of being inside and being a family man. Okay, let's do, this is Rose Gold. Like I said at the beginning, I am pretty sure that they came from Shaylan's glitter. If the comment... Can I pin it? Hang on, let's go for a little scroll back through the comments because I know they disappear on your screen, guys. Pin! There we go. I will pin her group. There it is. Her name's not Shaylan. Her name's actually Linda. I want to say Brotherton, but I think that's wrong. I always mispronounce it. So I just call her Linda B out of respect so I don't keep mispronouncing her name. But yeah, she runs that. She doesn't sell glitter like, say, Danny sells glitter where you can jump onto the website and order it. She does buy-ins, but I'm not sure if she keeps extra stock or not. You'll just have to reach out to her, but that's her group. She doesn't have a website or anything. She just has a group. Okay, if we're doing that gold, we'll start with that big bit. I've got, my daughter's obsessed with this song. My daughter's 10, so there's a lot of music I don't let her listen to just because I think I'm not a super tight-assed mum, but there are some particular songs that a lot of kids are singing at her school that recently won an award. Yeah, at the age of 10, I don't think she needs to be singing or listening to shit like that. But she plays this one song. It's a duet over and over and over again, and now I've got it stuck in my bloody head. So if you keep wondering what I'm humming, it's this Little Do You Know song that she's been playing on repeat for days, and now I've got it in my head. That's the one, Crystal. That's the song. I'm not even going to give it the recognition that it wants. See you, Natalie. All of it will be on YouTube anyway, like when I put the vinyl on and the last coat of epoxy. All we're doing tonight is basically the geometric effect, which is where we put the tape on, we glitter it all, and then we'll peel it all off. Which is why I was trying to do it on a smaller cup, so that I don't even know how long we've been running. Hang on, I'm just gonna slide to the right. Nope, still doesn't tell me. About 45 minutes by my clock, so I apologize. I don't like wasting people's time. That's why, like, honestly, unless I really like the person, I don't watch many lives anymore. When I say that, I'm talking about like in American groups. I go ape shit when I see Aussies go live. I'm like, hello, friend. I love watching Aussies go live. I reckon it's about bloody time we gave them a run for their money, like the Americans, in regards to content and stuff. So just out of, you know, support and solidarity, I try to, not solidarity, yeah, solidarity. I try to watch everything. But American-wise, unless I really, really like them, I don't bother watching them live. I follow a lot of YouTube channels, like moments like this where they're talking, or they're explaining something that I already know, because I'm a Scorpio and I know everything. I just skip through. So being that way, I am very conscious of wasting other people's times when I do tutorials. That, and I have, if anybody's watched my pen tutorial, had a bit of a TED talk in that, which I was going to edit out, and then it's all Anna's fault, because I let Anna watch that segment before I edited it, and she told me to leave it in and not to re-record it, which I could have done, because I ended up using a different wrap by the end anyway. But yeah, I have crippling social anxiety, so thinking that I might be wasting other people's time sends me into a bit of a panic. When were you, what, I shouldn't ask when, because that's rude. What day were you born, Siobhan? On the 9th of November. There are going to be a couple of bits I am realizing as I go through where the colors aren't going to be next to each other, but see, like we have here and here, these two here, I just lagged out a little bit, they're going to be separated by nothing but a line, but they're not like directly next to each other. So we are going to have a couple of awkward points, but we're doing all right. Means this one needs to be this one here. And then the last part won't require much thinking because we've already filled all the other spaces. This one will be the last, this one, yeah, the last rose gold. Anybody got any special plans for Easter? The 10th of November. I mean, obviously we were born in the same year, which is the year 2000 this year. We're born the year 2000 this year because then we're turning 21. Alright? That's the story we're going by. The 13th. One of my friend's kids was born on the 16th. And she's a female too. Look, I know that Scorpios get a bad rap. We do. Because we're fixed water signs, so we're very rigid by nature anyway. But we just have a really excessive bullshit meter. We just don't have any time. And I think that's where a lot of our bad reputation comes from, because we're not scared to call people out on that said bullshit. And let's face it, I mean, we don't like getting called out on our own bullshit, but we're happy to do it to other people. But nobody likes to be called out by that, and I think that's where the reputation comes from, because nobody else will do it, so we feel like we have to. Okay, we're up to, look, isn't that cool? I am not, and never have been, a pink or a gold person. And when some idiot decided to combine the two and make rose gold, thought it was the biggest abomination. But in the time that I've been doing tumblers, they're not colours that I would personally pick for myself. I am very much a blues, greens, purples, silvers kind of person. But I don't hate looking at them anymore. Like, that's really pretty. And I can appreciate, instead of being stubborn, I can appreciate how pretty that is. Hi, Haley. So the idea is, this is, and you can go back and watch the replay because I've explained it a few times, but this is a geometric cup, which is like the origins of geometric cups. They've evolved quite a bit over the past couple of years, but basically once we're finished glittering all of the spaces, we're going to peel off the tape. Hi, Dorothy. But I'll make sure I edit the last 3 odd minutes out. Wasn't really talking before or after then anyway. But yeah. Nobody needs to know your business on the big wide world, I don't think. Yes! You know how sometimes it doesn't look the same when it goes on the tumbler as it does in the container? See, so these two, and then this one is like the halfway mark between the pink and the gold. Ha! Yeah. That's what I was most nervous about. That's why I left it till last, because I figured if I didn't like it, I could just wipe off one part and find a different pink. Maybe go more magenta. But no, I'm quite happy with that. We will keep that. I had to have a win, guys. I've been kicked so many times when I've been down lately. It's like, I didn't even want to do lives or tutorials anymore. I don't know, it's Friday, especially Friday. I got so close to just deleting my channel and disappearing off the face of the earth. But she kind of talked me down off a ledge and told me to piss off to Sydney, go see my best friend for the weekend. And I did. And I got lots of little baby cuddles because she's got almost 8-month-old. And that kind of brought me back down a little bit. I'm very glad that that colour worked out. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of golds and pinks, so picking this colour combo was very bold and brave of me. Because when I was planning the intermediate series, honestly, I was going to do a silver base, so like the lines were silver, and then I was going to go ahead and use the same colours that I always do, which is these two, and like a minty blue, like this kind of colour. But I changed my mind when I was prepping yesterday. There we go. Almost done, guys. Anybody hailing from Toowoomba tonight? My thoughts are with you if you are. I lived there for 2 years. Love it. If somebody came up to me tomorrow and said, do you want to Maringadan? Really is where I want to live. I want to own acreage out at Maringadan. Because then A, I can have all of the rescue farm animals that my heart desires. And B, it's really close to Maringadan Pub. And Maringadan Pub, if anybody's ever been there, has the best steak Diane I have ever had in my life. But yeah, I did 2 years up at Toowoomba, and if somebody came up to me tomorrow and said, hey, right, leave everything behind and move to Toowoomba, I'd do it in an instant, without a second thought. See us all, bye, I'm off. I left my heart in Toowoomba when I moved down to Port Macquarie. Not literal heart, like I wasn't in love with anybody, but just my best friend from high school moved there when we were still teenagers, and I went up and visited her 2014, 2015, and I just knew, as soon as we drove into town, I just knew that that's where me and my kids should be. Well, it's beautiful up there. But they just got... Yeah, Sonia, I was about to say, they just gone into a snap lockdown because they had a big outbreak at, I think I read it was a pub. So to catch it before it gets out of control, they've gone into a snap lockdown. Which isn't cool right before Easter, guys. Like, I'm so sorry. I was actually under the impression that everywhere, because it was even looking good for Brisbane at one stage. Okay, I have to move that off because my dumb ass attached the cut before I put the rest of the pink back in the container, and that's got all the gold through it as well. Okay, now I can go through with my scissors. Okay, now when this, I'm going to put that in my water. There is our cup. Now, when this fully dries tomorrow, there are a couple of spots that I will go back through and do another coat on. And then I spray seal and put the vinyl on. No, I can't do that now. I'm going to have to spray seal, epoxy, vinyl, final coat. Now that we've glittered this. Okay, I'm just going to... Everybody's talking to Dorothy. Dorothy, I can see everybody talking to you. I'm going to catch you up at the end. Just so I don't have to edit too much out. But I'm going to peel away my lines very gently. I should be using tweezers. Mistakes will be made. There is going to be a little bit of excess still coming off because some of our Mod Podge, especially around the dark pink, is obviously not dry yet, and I don't want to go dry brushing just in case I take off any. These are shit tweezers, man. Let's start another section instead. Like here. I'm going to try and keep our corners especially nice and sharp. So there is a couple of spots, like, where is it? See this tiny dip here? That I'll have to go back and fix as well. But it's not going to be a considerable amount of work. And looking at it, there's really only one or two where the glitter didn't really stick to some parts of that shape as I wanted it to, probably from when I was crapping on too much and not concentrating. But as you can see, besides the little bits and pieces here and there, this is a lot easier than a tannogram, but it is still super effective. And very pretty, as long as you have the right colors. It doesn't even, like, it can all be, do a blue cup where it's all blue, but just do a couple of different shades of blue, right? As long as you have, there we go, as long as you have that variety going. Sonia, no, I'm not going to Mod Podge over the top. I use clear spray seal. And obviously when it's proper dry, I'm going to give it a really good dry brushing just to get any excess off. Then I will spray seal it and epoxy it, put my vinyl on and do a final coat of epoxy. So all of that, except the actual watching me spray, because I do that outside, all of that I will add to the tutorial that I then put on YouTube. But I did want to cover how to get it tonight. Okay, so coming around this bit here, which is the only oblong shape on the whole of the cup, the rest of them are triangles. There's our bottom, right? This is where our vinyl is going to go. So make sure you always figure out what shape. I mean, if I wanted to, I could put a square down and then tape off the edges and have more of like a hexagon shape if I was putting a circle design on. And for those that missed the beginning, just watch the replay because I do explain it a bit better there. But just make sure, but once you put your two separating lines on that splits the cup 4 ways, make sure you figure out where you want to put your vinyl and what shape you want your design to be, and make a section for your vinyl. Okay, remembering if you have a screw top lid, so things like the 20-ounce skinnies that have a screw top lid, the can koozies, because the hot drink lid screws onto the can koozies, doesn't really matter so much for the stubby holder bit because your bottle can go anyway, but the coffee lid for that screws on a certain way, sippy cups screw on a certain way. Please make sure any cup that you do where the lid screws on, before you do any vinyl placement, even at the beginning like this, make sure you put your lid on so you know how your lid sits and you can plan around that. Okay, if it's just like a cup like this where the lid sits straight on top, it doesn't ever matter. But if you do cups like this all the time and then all of a sudden you've got a screw top lid, you'll be in the habit of So just keep that in the back of your mind. If it's a screw top lid, you do have to care about where the vinyl goes. Okay, but that'll get spray sealed and then epoxied. Okay, but that is... Alrighty guys, so I have gone in already and done a second coat on the dark pink and the rosy pink. If you can see, it's now nice and solid, and I fixed up all of my line work and everything. There was a couple of spaces that had peeled up when we pulled the tape up. So all we've got to go, all we've got left now is to do the second coat of this rose gold color, which I'm going to do on camera. I wasn't going to do all of them on camera because you've already seen me glitter it once. It's basically the same process again. So we're going to start with our big square in the middle here, and again with our dishwasher safe Mod Podge and my tapered brush. Okay, now going Mod Podge over glitter, obviously you can be a little bit thicker with your application, but please make sure that your when you apply, you're still not real streaky, or you don't have any real clumps or bumps or anything like that, but you can apply a fair bit more over glitter, as opposed to applying straight onto epoxy like we did in the first. Bit thicker than I'd like it to be, so I'm just going to bring that down. This is why I like to use the tapered brush, because depending on the edge I can flip it to the other side and use that tapered edge to get right in that corner. Like so. Cover it in our glitter, and then we're going to dry brush. Now obviously, as each of the other colors dried, when they were completely dry, I gave the cup a really good dry brushing. So that's what I'll do when the rose gold is dry as well. But there is our second coat of the rose gold. So I'm going to go through now and speed up the next bit, and then we will be back. Okay, so here it is. We've got our second coats of all of the colors on it now, and it is looking much more solid. So I'm going to let this dry overnight. Give it a really good dry brushing tomorrow. You saw what dry brushing is, but when I'm doing color by color, I use a little brush to do between the lines. Okay. When it's completely dry and I want to do an overall dry brush, I use a big brush like this and I go over the whole cup and make sure that there's no more loose glitter. After I've done that, I'm going to give it a couple of coats of spray seal, and then we'll be back for the first coat of epoxy. Hello, beautiful people of the internet. She's ready for her first coat. So we have done all of the design work that you saw in the live portion of this video. I went through and did second coats on all of the glitters just to give them a little bit more of a solid look, also to fix up any of the little edges that might have peeled off when we peeled up the tape. You got to see me do the rose gold section of the double coat. From there I let her dry for a good 12 hours. Gave her a really good dry brushing to get all of the excess off, and then she's had 2 coats of spray seal with about an hour and 90-minute break between the 2 coats, and then she's been drying all afternoon. So she's ready for her first coat. Isn't she pretty? Okay, so I am using at the moment just Resin's diamond coat. It is a 1:1 ratio resin. It is limited food safe, so it's safe for tumblers. And now would be a good time to put in my safety disclaimer. Hi guys, a quick safety disclaimer for when working with resin. Please make sure you always protect yourself by wearing eye goggles or other protective eyewear. A half-face respirator mask with interchangeable filters. I got mine from Bunnings and they also sell the replacement filters. And of course, gloves. Now I prefer to work with nitrile gloves, but in a pinch, vinyl gloves will also work. These are the 2 types that will not tear easily when working with resin. Please make sure you stay safe while you're having fun and happy creating. Okay, so now that we've got my safety disclaimer out of the way, we're going to go ahead and apply our first coat of epoxy. Because it is a 12-ounce kitty cup, it's not a sippy cup. It's got the same lid as normal tumblers do, but it is a 12-ounce, so I try to market my 12 ounces towards kids, and then they get a free straw with it as well. I mixed up 15 mils of epoxy. So because it is a 1:1 ratio epoxy, that means I mixed up 7.5 mils of part A, 7.5 mils of part B, and it does not need double stirring, so you can do all of your stirring and then pour from the same measuring cup. Just making sure I've got nice even coverage, and now that that's got epoxy on it, all of those pretty sparkles have come back up. When you use spray seal, especially if you do it the first couple of times, please don't panic. Spray seal does mute your glitters a little bit, like that they're not as sparkly anymore. But as you can see, after we've put resin over the top, you saw it before it had resin, it's come right back up again. But I'm dripping. So please don't freak out if you go to spray seal your glitter and you realize that it's gone matte. It will come back up under resin, and you are seeing that right now. Going to, no, wrong way. There we go. Put her in the middle of the screen a little bit more. Now this resin is self-leveling, which means that if I dump it on one side of the cup and just kind of rub it in so that it doesn't drip everywhere. Okay, get rid of that now. Eventually it's going to make its way around the whole cup and level itself out. So now, oh, from down on the floor, I will grab my heat gun. I'm just going to quickly hit it with some heat just to get it evening out a little bit quicker, but also to pop any air bubbles that might be in there. That'll do it. I'm I'm just noticing my turner's a little bit jumpy, so I'm going to get that turning in the other direction. Gonna let her turn all night, and then we will be back tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be smooth enough for us to be able to do our vinyl. If not, I will put another coat on it, but either way, where are you going? Come back. There we go. Either way, the next time you see her, we'll be ready to put the vinyl on. Alrighty guys, we are up to the final coat. Please excuse the mess behind the cup. I had to try and get it at an angle where this super reflective rose gold vinyl wasn't reflecting so much, because you couldn't actually see what it said. So this is what we went with. Now, the actual wording and the pattern itself, I used the blush alcohol ink vinyl out of the Love Your Vinyl floral sampler box. Let's try saying that 10 times fast. And it had like a pink ombre through it, and if I can get the camera, see how it's just got a tiny little bit of printed gold, right? It's not actual foil, it's just printed, but it gives a really pretty effect. And then over that, under that, sorry, is an offset, and I used the rose gold mirror from the same box. So if I hold it up, you can see, look at that high flash, see? And that flash there is what I was getting when the camera was at the other angle. So that is what I did. I made it myself. The font is, I want to say Valentine Olivia, but I think that's wrong. So I will go back into my Silhouette Studio and figure out what font that is and put that in the description. But basically I just made a square in Silhouette Studio, and then I offset it and made it a compound path, copied and pasted it, and then off-centered the second one, and then welded it all together to create my pattern, and then I just typed my text in the middle. But that is what we have gone with, and that is now, it's got room on the other side if they want to add a name. I actually haven't sold this yet. I do have somebody in mind for it though, so if I don't end up selling it, that's how I usually do my tutorial cups, in a way where I'll try and sell it, and if I don't sell it, I know exactly who I'm going to gift it to. So let's get a final coat of epoxy on this cute little baby. Here we go with the final coat. Okay, so you'll see as it spins around that really bad glare that I was trying to avoid in the last frame. Just going to quickly spray my epoxy because I had some interesting bubbles. Okay, so let's get final coat. Again, I have mixed up 15 mils of diamond coat. That's 7.5 mils of part A, 7.5 mils of part B. Just going to move it that way a little bit, just so I don't drip epoxy onto my tripod. We all know how to do final coats now, don't we? So I'm not talking much. This is just like the final effect for the tutorial. I'm making sure that I'm getting all of my edges and I won't forget my butt. Making sure that I pull the epoxy up to that top edge. Because we don't want any naked edges where we're going to have to go back through and do another coat. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to pour the rest of this epoxy on. I like my final coats to be nice thick coats. Just even that out a little bit because we're starting to drip, and then I'll hit it with the heat gun just to encourage it to level out a little bit more, and then we'll let it do its thing. I really need to hang my heat gun back up on the dedicated nail that I have in the wall, but it's just been sitting under my desk because it's easy to grab when I'm filming. I do need to hang it back up again though, so I'm not leaning over. It just helps to pop any little bubbles that might be in the resin. It also, because it's getting cooler weather for us Aussies now, it also helps encourage the epoxy just to thin out a little bit from the heat, and that then in turn helps it to level itself out on the cup. Okay, but there she is, our geometric cup. So just to recap, if you've made it this far, congratulations. Just to recap, you want to do your base color first. Now, whether that's just normal spray paint, whether you use mica powders like I did, whether you use a glitter base, whatever, you need to put your base on. Once you have your base on and you have epoxied over your base, if it's just spray paint, you don't really need to. You go in with your washi tape and you make your design with your lines. From there, you glitter. I used 3 different colors which are coming around, which was the Rosey Gold from DJ Designs, the Pink Rose Gold, and the Rose Gold from Shaylan's Glitter, or Linda B as I call her. I did 2 coats of the glitter, then I dry brushed really well and did 2 coats of clear spray seal. Once that was done, I did my first coat of epoxy. Thankfully that was smooth enough that I didn't need to do a second coat. I did, however, I think I forgot to mention, there were a couple of spots around the rim that I did have to sand just a little bit, but nothing so much that it required another coat. Then we put our vinyl on. As I mentioned, both the vinyls that are used on this cup both came out of the floral sample box from Love Your Vinyl. I do, however, believe she is releasing them down the line as individual prints that you can buy. If you'd like them now, I'm sure if you reached out to Corinne, she's a wonderful person, she'd be more than happy to help you out. But the pink, the offset is the Mirror Rose Gold, and then over the top of that is the Blush Alcohol Ink print. Did that, left it for about 24 hours so I knew that it wouldn't lift. And can I just say, this was the second time that I've used Love Your Vinyl, and it is so user friendly. It was really you know how sometimes you have a problem with foil, like cutting foil? Not this time. Look at those edges. That was just on an off note. It was really easy to use, and I thought I was going to have a lot more problem with the foil than I did, because I've had so much problems with foil vinyl in the past. But once that was done, we've now done our final coat, and now once this is finished spinning, she'll be ready for some lucky little girl. So once again, thank you for joining me, guys. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. I am well on my way to my first 500 subscribers now, and it makes me very excited. I've actually been in discussion with Corinne in regards to doing a live YouTube that has a giveaway in it for her April sampler box, which she hasn't even released yet. But we have to hit 500 subscribers before I can do that. That will be a live event on YouTube, not on Facebook, and you can win one of her April sampler boxes. So I'm just looking up on my phone just quickly. At the moment we're sitting at 471. So I need another 29 subscribers and then we can do a giveaway. How exciting! So make sure you share with your crafty friends as well to help us hit our goal. Otherwise, I will see you next time, guys, and thank you so much for watching.